I've told the American people before that this will not be another Vietnam.
America's security has depended on the clarity of this message. Don't tread on us.
Our nation enters this conflict reluctantly, yet our purpose is sure.
The United States did not seek this fight. It's harder to end wars than it is to begin them.
The principal result of recent U.S. wars has been to create instability and upheaval, and we've paid a heavy cost for that. We have killed many tens of thousands of people, massive refugee problems. It has exacerbated the terrorism problem. For the Iraq War alone, the total cost is $5 to $6 trillion. Sadly, the American people have come to accept war as normal.
We have our military power still, and we are using it to preserve and defend a crumbling status quo, using it to try to retain prestige, which we have lost in other spheres.
Not only is there no strategy with regard to how to bring our wars to a successful conclusion, but there really is no large view how the world works, where it's headed, and what part the United States might play.
The need for restraint has been recognized for a very, very long time. The framers of the U.S. Constitution were almost obsessed with the need to control power, to decentralize power. That moral and cultural foundation has eroded. People have come up with new, beautiful-sounding arguments for why the United States ought to be deeply involved in all corners of the earth. The armed global hegemon. People die on a large scale as a result of dubious, unexamined assumptions. That's why the constitutional temperament is so needed, to restrain people, to make them step back from reckless conduct. Nowhere is the need for statesmanship greater than in foreign policy.
Here at the Center for the Study of Statesmanship at Catholic University, we want to take a new approach to offer big ideas that revolve around restraint, rooted in a deep moral, ethical, constitutional tradition.
The Center for the Study of Statesmanship will go upstream from public policy debates. And by looking at the assumptions undergirding the foreign policy thinking, it will be possible critically to examine the sources of this sort of thinking.
The question of how the world's most powerful country acts on the global stage and what its actions mean for others as well as for Americans is one that badly needs addressing.
There are many sort of programmatic activities we will have here at the center. Scholarships and fellowships for PhD students, seminars, testimony, op-ed pieces, visiting professors who come and speak to policymakers. We're hoping to ferment an entire intellectual movement. One of the things we're most excited about at the center is the potential to partner with some of the military academies on a symposium every year. Provoke some ideas and thoughts, and maybe give a rebirth to that skepticism in the officer corps' culture about American interventionism.
We need to educate Americans, stimulate Americans, pay attention to what's being done to our country, in many respects what's being done to the world. We need this center.
We're hoping to spark a conversation around the country.